Right, so yes, welcome to the first ever Pitch Please Live. I'm really confused. I can see myself, I can see Jimmy, but then you look at each other because I'm stuff and things. So yeah, I should kind of explain. So this is the first time we're going live. It was an idea sprung up by me and Jimmy, and we spoke about it for ages, but we never really did it.
It's been on the cards for a while. We've been thinking about it, haven't we? So.
Yeah. It was really, really strange. So we spoke about doing this, and sorry, whilst I'm talking to you, I'm looking at the live feed.
King of multitasking.
It's quite hard to multitask when you're going live. And it especially this is the first time we've actually done this. So I'm really relying on this software, like. But I'm rambling. So So if you haven't seen us before or listened to our podcast before, basically me and Jimmy here, we both kind of met from the love of trashy 80s movies and comic books. And
we hit it off over a combination of being kind of like pop culture sponges and also being beer sponges, I guess. Yeah, we like beer a lot.
Like beer. And that I think that was the point. Like, so we used to hang around in a big group. Me and Jimmy kind of used to splinter off and talk about comic books, maybe Batman. That's my thing. Batman.
All the cool stuff.
Yeah, but I just finished like possibly one of my favorite Batman graphic novels, the Batman Who Laughs.
Okay, cool.
That was cracking. Another amazing moment by Scott Snyder. But anyway, that's a conversation we'll have off screen. We were talking, and during lockdown, it was kind of like social life's fucked. There's no such thing as social life in lockdown. Yeah. So me and Jimmy were talking, and it just came up that we were watching films and drinking beer, and started watching films that I hadn't watched for years, like these really bad B movies, and like Canon came up quite a lot, which is one of the reasons we're doing today's one. And it was just really bad B movies, really bad 80s action films, and we were reviewing them. We just decided to record the conversations for ourselves, really. But the more we got into it, the more I enjoyed it, and I kind of wanted to share it with you lovely people that may be watching us or may not be watching us. I don't know what's going on. I'm not watching the figures. That's pretty much it. Today's film, I'll be honest, is a follow-up to the last episode that just dropped. And the last episode was American Ninja 1. So this week we're doing American Ninja 2. Number 2. There are 5. There are 5 in this series. I've only watched 2 of them so far. I've been told to avoid anything after number 2, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I've got a shout about that as well. Like, yeah, it's a double bill. It's not a saga.
Yeah, no, I'm not. If it ends up anything. I mean, these films are not great, but if it ends up worse than those, I'm not going to be happy, man. Like, it's a very strange. It's a great film. I'm not going to lie. As a film of its standard, which is none. I'm not going to lie. It is a good film.
Was this the first? Had you seen it before we started chatting?
I think I had. I'll be honest with you, I had. I said you because we had done because we'd done the first film. Me and you both had the conversation. I said to you, I need to see this. So I think I've watched this. I think this will be the 3rd time I watched it today. I watched it last because I always when we do these things, I always watch them 2 or 3 times. It'll be one just to enjoy it as the film. And then the second one, just to look at little parts and maybe make some notes. Sometimes I turn up without the notes. But yeah, Today is one of those days.
The second viewing is the deep dive.
Yeah. It's where I kind of look at my favourite scenes and pull bits out. I watch it. I watch them with more depth, and I may like look at the music in the background and then explore it. That's an interesting point. I told you I did this. This is seriously. So if you haven't seen the last episode, I was having technical issues, and basically I wanted to pull up a clip of the soundtrack, and I couldn't get it up. And this, I found it. Oh, 1 minute. I've just accidentally got rid of you, Jim. There we go. I found it, and I found the exact timing of where the part I was talking about. So the original film had this amazing kind of A-Team kind of like theme going on. And then suddenly out of nowhere, there is like an out of tune trumpet. And I just wanted to do this because I couldn't show this on the original recording of American Ninja 1. This is now about 5 seconds. You'll see him ride off the bike. It's that flat note every single time. That flat note really grates me, man. He holds that note for far too long. Oh god, that trumpet.
Sounds like it wants to give up.
The thing is, I don't get why he did that. It was a really strange thing to put that in, and I just don't get why you would do that. Oh man, it's really weird because. All right, let's get into American Ninja 2. I just wanted to get that out of the way because I was really upset that I couldn't fit that in last week.
American Ninja 2, a film with a very, very different score, has to be said.
Yes. So yeah, I think I may have mentioned to you through text message whilst I was watching the film. That soundtrack was very in the second one was very Terminator.
It's very synthy, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, it's very Terminator. It always had some like 80s like hair rock going on as well in the background of that kind of. So that all stunk to me very Terminator.
It sort of sounds more like other 80s films at the time to me. That's kind of my takeaway.
That was the same with the first one. The first one, it had scenes where it ripped off Romancing the Stone.
Yeah. It feels like they put in from whatever's around at the time, sort of whatever's hot.
Yeah, I mean, this is. I think this is going to be a 5-point problem. This it was, and I mean, like, and from the other film that we watched, American Ninja 1, realistically, that was A-Team, MASH, and Romancing the Stone.
Yeah.
This film is Terminator, Surf Dudes, one character being Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom, the young kid who's basically short round. Yeah, one kid's basically short round. He's like pops up when he needs him, so he can give him a couple of American dollars, so he'll drive the car. And for a Caribbean island, there was a lot of Caucasian people. They don't say what Caribbean island, by the way.
Yeah,
but I don't.
It's a bit of a whitewash.
It was very. Yeah, it's really hard to explain because you don't want to come across wrong, but it seemed like the Americans had just gone in and colonized this Caribbean island, and yeah, there's just loads of surfer dudes. That's Marine. The Marines are surfer dudes. That's all I can say about them.
Do they give a reason for why they seem to just hang around? Like, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of work. Actually, I think one of the characters says it doesn't seem like there's a lot of work going on here. Well,
actually, to be fair on that point, I've got a friend who's in the army, and he got stationed in Germany, and I said to him, "How is it?" He's like, "It's fine. Don't do fuck all, mate. We train in the mornings. Really, we haven't got anything to do." We're just on standby in case something happens somewhere.
In case something happens,
sometime.
right?
Yeah, basically. So that doesn't really stink of anything to me. That's quite plausible. But it's the fact they're all surfer dudes really gets me.
Yeah, I was a bit thrown by that.
Marines, for me, like looking at Marines, I always think of them as kind of very intense, regimented people. I've never really thought of them as surfer dudes.
Yeah, to me that guy, I thought, all right, they are undercover.
I think of when I think about them.
It's a weird association to make in this movie.
Yeah, it's really strange. There's only one guy that has like the right attitude out of the whole of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's a replacement for the first in the first movie where you had the general that pretty much treated Dudakov's character as a renegade cop.
Is that the character
which is
Wild Bill
genius? Yes, that's him.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Because I was trying to remember which way around it goes. Yeah.
Yeah. He kind of looks like sort of squashed Val Kilmer with the tash.
Yeah. I know the one. Yeah. Him and the older gentleman that was with him. Those are the only two that kind of had what I would consider like almost like a normal kind of a normal
kind of military sense.
Yeah. Basically,
they felt like they could have come
out.
They felt like they could have been in the first movie.
Yeah. That's basically what I'm saying. I don't think of them as it's just strange. Because the first film, yeah, I'm sorry. That's all I can really say about that. Because I don't know why you would make the Marines kind of that, make them surf dudes. And then it gets to a point where the only reason I could see they were made into surf dudes was to get the jokes in about women in bikinis and
I got the sense it was just to give it, it was a location thing. It was like, we want this one to be Joe and Jackson go on holiday, so we need to work in some kind of way that they can go to a sort of like a sort of beachfront type, be in some kind of situation that involves surfing and all that kind of stuff. It's their mission to Miami.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, I think we should talk about Cannon a little bit because that might explain a lot of the themes running in this. Because Cannon had been at this point been bought out in the 80s. They were bought out by two Israeli guys. Who had a love for like really bad action films, and then that's when like really Cannon really took its stride was the 80s, because that's what I mainly remember Cannon for 80s films, but they'd been going since the 60s. But their whole point of view was that people wanted to see high tempo, fast paced, short films. Basically, they wanted to knock out that hour and a half films and just have ultimate action going.
They're an entertainment film factory.
Yeah. My favorite story about their love for like fast paced stuff is so you got the two Chuck Norris films. You got Missing in Action, and then Missing in Action the beginning. Now they were filmed back to back. The beginning was filmed first, and Missing in Action was filmed second, but they deemed Missing in Action to be better than Missing in Action the beginning, so they released Missing in Action first, thinking that if people enjoy the first one, they'll go and see the second, no matter how bad it is.
There's a logic there.
There is a logic. It's not, but that's that's the studio you're dealing with. They kind of told you to knock a film out in a week. Which is where this character may pop up today. I actually think that the character I made up on the previous podcast, Steve, the writer, like if you can't come up with a background, you go to Steve, and I feel he was used here in this film quite a lot.
Yeah, they deployed Steve's talents for this one.
Steve's my he's my what I call a crowbar writer. He's like, how do we get away with this plot? I don't get Steve. Steve always has the goods.
He'll sort it out.
Well, in the last film, Steve, they couldn't come up with a background for Joe Armstrong, Dudakov's character, so they just gave him amnesia. They're like, why don't we know his background? Amnesia.
I felt like in a tradition of many great sequels, this benefits from like they can hit the ground running with this. Like Joe and Jackson are kind of like just doing their thing right from the get go, and I got the sense that they'd watched the first movie and were like, Jackson's really good. We need to give him more stuff to do. That was my takeaway from this.
Right, you're about to hear a can crack. I hit the 10% already. I couldn't help myself. The thing with this is that you do have that thing with Jackson and Armstrong comes up. The bromance is amazing with them two in the first one, and then just to bring it back and make it like the kind of the focus instead of having him have because he does have a love interest a little bit later on.
Yeah,
but it's not really like focused on in any shape or form.
No, it's hinted at more than anything, I think, isn't it? It's not.
Yeah, I mean, it's more Jackson and Armstrong.
Yeah,
to be honest,
that's the true love at the center of this movie.
Yes, and I think that's the point. I think that was the reason that I actually kind of preferred this one a little bit more. I mean, I loved the first one. I do. I absolutely adore the first film. But this one had a bit more of a bromance. It had a bit more fun going on. It was a bit more insane.
It felt everything about this felt more polished. Like the way it felt like they knew what they were doing with this one, and it was just tell a good. I felt like that. I was more engaged with the actual story with this one.
Sorry about that. 1 minute. That's for a bit later. That wasn't meant to happen. There was a point to that in a minute.
Right.
But yes. Carry on, sir. Sorry.
Yeah, it's just basically. I just thought this was like I said in a lot of franchises. My favorite movie is often the second one, and I feel like.
Oh yeah.
I feel like this was in that tradition. I think if I was, I haven't seen Cannon's entire back catalogue, but I think from what I've seen, this is actually one of their better ones. This is pretty decent.
Yeah, I mean, as a pairing, they're great.
There was a lot of sorry, Carol.
I mean, there was the bromance is clear. The jokes between them are great.
Mm-hmm.
They take away from the fact that you are clearly kind of like watching a bunch of surfer dudes and keep them rolling their eyes at them.
So there's a fish out of water.
The fight scenes. The fight scenes. Oh,
yeah,
amazing. And do you know what? They're still Adam West Batman fight scenes.
Oh, that was in I've got in my notes that you perfectly surmised that on the other one, and I was like, yeah, Dan's totally right. This is. I almost felt like I could see the powers and zaps coming out of the screen. It was very, I mean, really, really over the top, but actually really nicely choreographed fight scenes. You know, like almost like little musical numbers.
Also, like the thugs that are hanging around the bar all the time.
Yeah, and the way that
one of them's got a really posh English accent.
Yeah, and there's also a thing where kind of whatever's going on, whatever fight is going on, no matter how violent it is, they're just standing there. Like if that was me in that bar, I mean, I would leave unless I'd hand it my beer.
People just carry on drinking and just
Yeah.
watch people fly through and smash chairs over each other. Now, obviously, you saw what I accidentally pulled up. It's a great scene. This was the scene I said to you was my favorite fight scene. It's because it's like a ballerina scene. For some reason, it goes full ballet. And obviously that was the advert for this because I couldn't stop watching it without thinking Swan Lake. It sounds really bad, but that's how it came up. So here it is. It's on mute at the moment. Obviously, I can undo that. But we're going to just play a section of it. I'm going to find when the ninjas come in right now. So yeah, it's roughly about here. So you got this in the background. Here we go. The campest run into a film ever. This is so great. I've been thinking.
I thought ninjas are about stealth.
Yeah. What I love about this film and the other film is I think it must be in a budget thing, but the ninjas are only out in the daytime and they're dressed in black. Always in the daytime. Yeah. I think I'm going to end it on this bit here for a minute. And then I'll come back to my favourite bit in this. But yeah, this it's just no, Batman. It's this is great. So many people are going to be upset that I just paused that. But yeah, I mean that's where I sit with this. It's just the camp schlocky fun that runs throughout the whole of this. And whilst I'm talking to you, I'm just trying to find my favourite part of that fight, and I think it's there. We'll find out in a minute. Yes, it is there. Cool. But yes, so as I'm going on, there's so much campy fun, so much campy. Just like the fight scenes. In the bar are great. There's people being thrown through banisters and falling 2 foot onto a table underneath.
Sorry, Karen.
When he hits the table underneath, there's like 2 people near the table and they just watch him. And you just literally, it's like, imagine I'm there. It's like this.
Yeah, right? And they just carry on. Like
so great.
Mate, if they just order their round, it's fairly understandable.
Yeah, so funny. When they're so casual about people fighting in that place. Why do you go to a place like that? I go to bars to relax.
It's a standard film roughhouse.
Yes, yeah. It needs. Do you know what it needs? Patrick Swayze.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a normal night if there's someone flying through a window.
It's a roundhouse. So funny. But this film is like the other one. It takes like swift turns into different genres, rips off other films, really camp fight scenes. Steve James, who's become a personal love of yours and mine. We've seen him in 3 films that we've reviewed now, not knowing he was in them. Not knowing he was in the first that we reviewed.
Yeah. He's been stellar in all of them.
Yeah. He's really charismatic.
Yeah.
And he is a walking action figure.
Yeah. He gets... He looks like he should be like in a box hanging in a toy shop somewhere. It's
if you punch him in the back, you get kung fu grip. Like...
Yeah. He's a real life. He's a real life G.I. Joe.
Yeah, I love him. I absolutely love him. I haven't seen a film where he's had. Well, we've only watched 3 films, but all 3 films have been slightly understandard. But he's always been of a standard. Yeah, and even at certain points when he's not, you can see in his face he kind of knows what he's in.
Yeah,
he's just having fun.
Yeah, and I get the sense. I mean, he seems to be having a lot of fun in this one, and I do get the sense that the producers were, let's let Jackson let rip a bit more in this. He gets a lot of dialogue, and in particular, he really relishes in the action scenes. So it's a Jackson movie.
He's like, oh god, he's shredded. He's clothed for most of the film, and then you get to a point where he's having a fight, and they quickly find a reason to get his top off.
Yeah, any excuse.
just to show off that amazing physique that he has. I mean, this film starts off like kind of going, oh, that's degrade women, and then they're constantly just like taking Steve James' top off.
Yeah, I love how he's in that. He has a fight in the bar and then gets a girl's number afterwards. I thought that's a great Jackson moment.
Oh yeah, he just walks up and that man. If he just like squeezed his head, fur would come out of his chest. What I do love about this film, actually, I was saying this, the moments it tries to be manly, and it was exactly the same as the first film. He just Dudikoff just ends up like model posing and pouting instead of looking all manly and masculine.
Yeah, he's Zoolander. American Ninja 2, Blue Steel.
So the fight scene he has outside the bar, they're just literally touching his shoulder. They're all touching exactly the same shoulder, and he throws them the same way into the same things. And he's just sitting there going, right, there's 20 of you. There's one of him. Have one. Why are you going up one by one, touching his shoulder and letting him lob you?
It's like my turn now.
You know when you got like you got nieces over or something, and then you pick one of them up and spin them, and then the other one comes on and goes, "It's my turn." It's a scene of that, but with grown men. Oh, it's great. And as I say, I love this film. I will say, guys, I should say to the audience right now. If you are watching, if there are people watching, I can't tell. I haven't got the figures, but
if you're out there,
there is a comment section. You can ask questions. It's that is fully welcome, unless it's one of my friends who's just going to put up like a picture of their ball bag. Then don't want to see that, dude.
Just message jokes.
I just look up, and all I can imagine is one of my friends going, "Oh, funny." But yeah, go back. I mean, like that, and that's why I wanted to bring this in, because of this scene here. So going back to that fight scene, I'm going to bring it up now. So this is that fight. This is halfway through the fight scene, kind of, because this is the fight scene that we just watched the beginning of.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is just before we get joined by the lovely Steve James on this. But I wanted to pull this up because it's that killed me. That absolutely annihilated me, because like I've got to rewind that. So sorry,
to rewind.
So watching it again, he's doing all this with the sticks, beating up all everybody like that, all manly and that, and stick throw. Oh my god, he hit me in the nuts. The first time I watched that, I'm not gonna lie, I was completely inconsolable. I had to pause because I just didn't see it coming. There was no point. I just didn't see it coming. He just throws a stick at a guy. That's all he did.
Falls over. It's like, yeah, least stealthy ninjas ever, and yeah, need to go back to ninja school.
It's just the stick. It's just the lobbing of the stick. We did that as kids. There was another film we did. Do you remember when they did the nunchucks? Instead of using the nunchucks, they just threw them in somebody's head. Things like that kill me. Absolutely annihilate me. It's so funny. Oh god, sorry.
That's all right.
I actually started laughing. Yeah, that was. It's a stick. It's the way he throws it as well. He's like a little kid. It does that. It hits him, and the only reason I can see him falling over is because it hits him kind of halfway, and it's almost like it hits him in the nuts. It's just a nut shot. It really is. Oh, that's amazing. Was it action for you? I mean, I'm reading off mine. Yours? Did you have a favorite one?
I think just the entire the fight in the bar I just really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Which that to me that scene that I felt like that was the heart and soul of the movie. I loved hearing Jackson just sort of having a really good time going on about how much he loves fighting. I think I've noted down one of his quotes here. No, I didn't. But he says something like I love. He says something like I love it a lot.
I love how you tried to sound more professional than I am, and you just fucked up.
Yeah.
I have notes, and I made notes on this.
I made notes on this. No, that's a drawing of a cobweb.
Steve, I need you.
Yeah.
Steve is going to be so my running joke.
Oh yeah, he does say. Yeah, here it is. Yeah. In that fight scene, he just says, "I love it" a lot. He just keeps doing that. So that's pretty cool.
Thank you, Steve. As you go, I'm actually going to use Steve for a minute because they crowbarred the storyline later on. So I'll go into this a little bit. I didn't really want to go into plot too much. I just wanted to talk about how good the film was, or how bad. Well, actually, we've already said it's good. Fuck it. But there is like so the whole plot of the film is like Marines are being kidnapped by ninjas, but nobody believes Armstrong and Jackson. They keep on saying, "Oh," but they keep on describing ninjas as the kidnappers, which is really funny. Then you get to a point where like they're in, and one of the Marines, his wife's been kidnapped by the ninjas, and he's being held to ransom.
Yeah.
To help the ninjas kidnap the other Marines.
Yeah.
Then he's on a phone call asking who Armstrong is, and all you hear is him go, "Who is this guy Armstrong?" And you can't hear the other end of the conversation. All you hear is amnesia. It's like Steve's attacked again. Steve's been in. He's been at the script notes. Steve's back. Somehow he's managed to squeeze amnesia into the film, so we don't have to have no deep, meaningful conversation, and we can just go back to like ninjas doing backflips.
When in doubt, have your character lose their memory. That's Steve's modus operandi.
But this is Steve. He's done this in many films now. He's done it in so many films. He's appeared. Steve is just a character. There's no actual Steve. Steve is just a character. He's in my head. He's fictitious. But
Steve is the canon script doctor that you dreamt up.
Yes, he is. Was it? Well done, Steve. You're climbing a ladder. But it does stick to me, like every single time I see something like that, it's like they are sitting in the script room, and then somebody goes, "How do we get around this?"
Amnesia.
And he just puts his hand up in the background and goes, "Amnesia." Corporate ladder, son. You've climbed it. Well done. It's so funny. I think I should say we have just recorded Masters of the Universe a little while back. That has moments like that where you just like, what do we do? I don't know how we get from A to B.
Yeah.
And then somebody crowbars in something.
Yeah, crowbars in fried chicken, from what I remember about that one.
Steve, you're a genius.
Amnesia and fried chicken. That's his.
That's
his go-to. That sort of sounds like a Saturday morning for me.
It's just some guy, this fat guy sitting in the corner rubbing his stomach and there's all grease all over his t-shirt, and every now and then goes, "Give him amnesia."
Throw me another wing.
Do you know what? I'm going to say what I love about these films, though. we're doing lately. That there was one. There is a deleted episode. Because I just couldn't get through it, man. It was fuck.
Cast into the black hole of memory.
It was Delta Force 2. There was only one decent thing about it. It was the swear in general. But
I kind of like the song.
I don't really want to go into the song after we found out about the. Anyway, that's like
no.
Fuck it.
We can
confused. We'll talk about that in a second, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, the canon just came, and every time I found a film, I didn't know it was canon, and then it would go, "Oh, it's another canon film." Oh fuck! No, you did some shite in the 80s.
Yeah.
But fun, schlocky camp shite.
Yeah. It sort of suits what we're looking for. That those movies. They're B movies.
We should really stop doing the ones we'll enjoy, but we need to talk to ourselves at some point. I do have Battlefield Earth sitting on the back burner. I can hear the exasperation in your voice. Going back. Right, so we'll take like a reverse back. Like imagine the car spinning round, and I'm going to go back through Delta Force 2 into American Ninja 2. Yeah, so the song you're talking about. So we searched up the guy. I can't remember the guy's name actually. But he did that song at the end of Delta Force 2, and then you pulled up the lyrics, and it was all kind of like America's great, let's make America great again, get rid of the immigrants. It was all this, and then we searched him up, country singer in an American flag shirt, Trump supporter, and you're like, yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be a Jim Bob.
When it was funny with that because I remember just leaving the film running and looking at my notes and thought I'll just leave the credits running, and then the lyrics of the song I thought it sounds very MAGA, and we were right.
Yeah, so that's the reason we don't go any further than the song on this, because when I watched that film, I remember saying to you, I watched it, and then when we went to do the recording, I had to go back because I had to skim through sections because I swore I missed something, but I actually hadn't. I just switched off because it was that boring, and I was really excited to watch. I was really excited to a Chuck Norris film. I was like, yes, I'm gonna have Chuck Norris jokes, lots of pop culture, and there was fuck all.
No, it was just a blank slate. There was nothing there to talk about really.
Yeah. Sorry, it's just
Norris is no Dudikoff or Steve James.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, back to American Ninja 2. So I mean this. So yeah, you got all that. You got that kind of half Steve made up storyline. Then you've got this film takes so many left and right turns into different genres. Like you've got the kind of like Chinese, almost the Chinese market fight scene from Indiana Jones Temple of Doom at one point.
Yes,
which has one of my favorite moments is where he catches. I thought he caught it actually at first, but it didn't. It turns out he didn't. It's when the poisoned arrow.
Oh yeah,
the guy fires out he fires the poison dart out, and he just puts his hand up, and it looks like he catches it between his two fingers like that, but it's actually like jammed in there because afterwards he pulls it out with his teeth and spits it at somebody. Sets somebody on fire.
He sets an ninja on fire, doesn't he? There's some good quality. Like he dispatches villains in some quite imaginative ways in this film.
My favorite moment in that whole scene though is when they throw the ninja star at him and it goes into the door.
Oh yeah,
it goes into the door behind him. If you look, it's really funny because he's just ducked, but the ninja star's already in the door.
Right.
So it doesn't do that. It was literally they went right. What we're going to do is we're going to put the ninja star behind you in the door. I just need you to duck, and we're going to film that. And people will think the ninja star's gone in the door. Where realistically, what they should have done is just film the ninja star in the door and him standing up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And yeah, you wouldn't have questioned that.
Yeah,
You would have heard the sound of it hitting.
Yeah, is there a sound effect?
Yeah, you heard this. It was a proper cartoon one as well, which is what made me giggle at that as well. I'm going to see if I can do this. It's
yeah, that's the Scooby Doo sound.
That's after the first film. I can't find that song for the life of me. I really wanted to put it over the top. I don't know what it's called, but there is so many cartoon moments in both films, but that is you get me, film. Like I said, if this gets taken off of the streaming service we watched it, I'm so buying the DVDs.
You're gonna get you're gonna get the American Ninja box set. You want to avoid the later ones, possibly.
Yeah, get the box set just for collection. Oh, hey Luke, how we doing, buddy? My friend said hi. Yeah, this is. I think Luke's at work, so I think we might be. I think he might be using us as an excuse to Skype.
Skype away, Luke. That's what we're here for.
Peace out, man. Yeah, sorry, going back. I mean, you got that whole fight scene. You've got like the poison arrow being spat at somebody set on fire, somebody throw the great one. It was really, really funny because it looked really, really bad. Just because when he throws them into the flower stand.
Oh yeah,
and then you actually see it unroll. Like it is actually set up just for the flowers to fall. I love continuity errors. To be fair, I love things like that. One of my favorite ones is Jim Carrey's very good for this.
Oh yeah,
Jim Carrey's really good for this because if anything like that happens, he improvises just so you might not have to take another shot of what he does is better. I think it's in The Grinch. Yes, it is. It's in The Grinch. You know the bit where he whips the tablecloth off the table and everything stays on it? Mm-hmm. Everything was actually meant to fall down.
All right.
Which is why he runs back and pushes it off. It's the way he runs back and then walks off. And they kept it in because it was just funnier than what they had planned.
Nice.
And I think in Lemony Snicket, he forgets his line and stays in character and shouts at the director, "Line, please!" and then just walks around improvising whilst everybody's just staring at him, going, "What's he doing?"
Sometimes those things can work. They can work in a film's favor.
Yes. So let's go back to American Ninja 2, and that's and there was a point. So yeah, there's lots of like things that I can see they've done like that in these fight scenes where somebody's not quite like possibly not done what they're meant to be doing quite.
Okay.
And then you see the Sonny, like the ninja will look confused and stand there for a minute, and then Dudikoff will just kick him so he'll fall to the floor to end it really quickly.
You've been Dudikoffed.
Just give him the blue still, bruh. It leads on to like I'm going to call him Short Round because I can't remember the actual character's name.
Yeah, the kid. Let's just call him the kid.
The kid. Yeah, Short Round because he's Short Round from Indiana.
Yeah, I think the kid is called Toto.
Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Yeah, see, he is more professional than I am. It's the scene when he pulls up in the pickup truck, and basically gets Armstrong and the girl whose name I cannot remember because she's not actually that important, even though they tried to make her important and make her a love interest.
Is she Alicia?
Something like that.
Yeah.
He drives off with them. One of the ninjas grabs onto the back. He punches through the window. Dudikoff's so manly, he kicks the shit out of him whilst he's driving the car still. He falls off. The ninja grappling hooks it, gets dragged. And that whole dragging bit, I'm like looking at it going, that's an actual stuntman there.
Yeah, that bit was quite. It was very divisive for me because I was like, on the one hand, I was like, man, this is cool. Then I was like, actually, this is a canon film. They haven't got a budget. That's a real guy getting hurt.
Yeah, no, see if I can find it. I can't find the clip actually, but it's just mental. I keep forgetting about this. I said to you earlier, I love the title of this, which is why the title of the first podcast we did was what it was. So the title of this is so underwhelming for the style of film it is. As American Ninja 2, The Confrontation. The Confrontation. Yeah. Just two blokes sitting at a table not agreeing with each other. that's what he sounded like to me. He's like that scene from Monty Python. I'll come here for a confrontation. No, you haven't. Yeah. Yes, I have. That's a disagreement. Oh, it isn't.
The English remake would have been like The Slight Disagreement. English Ninja 2, The Disagreement.
I think I picked the perfect one. The Kerfuffle.
The Kerfuffle. I like it.
The Kerfuffle. And but yeah, no, watching it. Sorry, that distracted me whilst I was looking for the clip, and I can't find it. But yeah, it's just like this genuine guy being dragged across the road, thrown through stuff, like they smash like boxes with him and stuff like that. And he's just sitting there going, "This guy's genuinely just getting battered."
Yeah, genuinely getting hurt.
Like. And I know this happens in B movies. There's one I'm looking at that I'm trying to find at the moment for us to review, and it's called Light Blast. It's with Thingy from Chips.
Eric Estrada.
Yeah, but it was it was like an Italian B movie with loads of American actors, so it was like in English, and it's in a day that health and safety wasn't a thing in Italy, and.
Yeah,
you're literally watching stuntmen get smashed at 60 miles an hour by a car or laying on top of a car that explodes. And that one stunt there just stunk of that for me, of just like health and safety going, oh, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, you can
don't need to. Fine. Yeah, it's fine. If the guy dies, just don't tell anybody. You've already got the facilities at the end of the film to recreate him. I'm going to go into that in a minute. That's really funny. This is the point of this film. So I mean, that's actually I'll go there now. So at the end of the film, we find out that all the Marines that are being kidnapped are being genetically modified into ninjas.
Yeah,
I didn't know ninjas was like a genetic thing. So
I guess they're super ninjas.
They are meant to be. But that's really funny, actually, because the first time he showed the guy that's trying to sell them is showing them off. Like, there's just one ninja just absolutely annihilating the rest of them. And he's like, How did you make them? They're super. You're like, wait a minute, only one of them is. And I don't think he was genetically made. The ones that have been genetically made have just been chopped to fuckery. Like, there's like 20 dead bodies all over this floor, and one guy survives.
I guess the genetic modifications can be seen as like, if we do see them get really horribly, getting dragged along by a car, you're like, oh, that ninja will be okay. Genetically modified.
We didn't know it was genetically modified at that point.
Right, okay.
Yeah, we didn't know.
Yeah. So
that was just a guy just getting the shit kicked out of him, and everybody watched it and enjoyed it. You sick, twisted fucks. You're the people that laughed at the beginning of John Wick.
Where the first American Ninja, I liked how it went into kind of complete fantasy at the end. Yeah. As soon as we learned about this kind of the whole genetically modified ninjas bit, this is where it kind of went into. I felt like we were going into kind of like a Roger Moore James Bond movie.
Oh, it was so great. They had that room with like glass cylinders of people just standing in them.
Yeah.
And just one scientist walking backwards, forwards. Oh, what I really loved about the laboratory, it was clearly signposted.
Oh, very clearly.
Just so, but the building itself looked like a leisure centre from the 90s. There was literally that those brick walls, the stairwells, the shit you can't. It could have been somebody's secondary school, man.
Well, a bit. I mean, that whole thing where they go into the sort of laboratory. I think it's. I mean, it's funny. Every time they're in a corridor, it does just look like they've broken into a school or a college, and but also when they're showing off the biologically, like the genetically modified ninjas, Joe and Alicia sneak in there disguised as ninjas and just stand at the back of they're just in the room with a load of non-ninjas, and I thought that was quite a funny point. That when I went, man, it's easy to pull the wool over the eyes of these villains.
Oh mate, it is so good. I mean, I laughed my ass off throughout the whole of that final storyline. It was just
the last third is great.
Oh mate, it's great. And then you have the cavalry roll in like in the first one.
Yes, it's very similar to the first one, isn't it? At the end where they just like guns clearly outmatch even super ninjas.
I just realised as well, the ninjas are not outside in the dark in the nighttime. They're in the building under lights.
Yeah.
It just dawned on me. We've been talking about this like the whole time. It was the first one. They were always out in the daytime in their dark clothing, sliding down trees like stripper poles. And now this one, as soon as it goes dark outside, they're inside. Are they scared of the dark?
I just think they're very inept ninjas.
I mean, we know that already. I mean, I mean, it is Dudikoff.
Mm-hmm.
And he has got an amazing writing team behind him, known as Steve.
Steve.
It's ninjas in daytime do not work for me. It's just like I love how they try to stealth like that in the daytime, but we're all in black, and it's really hot and sunny in the middle of. They just say Caribbean.
Yeah, it just all looked like Power Rangers.
That's a point, actually. I want to see because I swear that was in the synopsis, and I had the IMDb up earlier. I'll pull that up again because I swear, even in the synopsis, because I was trying to find out where this is meant to be. And if I'm right, even the official synopsis just says a Caribbean island. And if it does, I'm going to pull this up on the screen share. And just to show people, I am not making this shit up. I don't think they could decide what country it is. On a remote Caribbean island. So I'm going to screen share this to prove a point. Like
nice and non-specific.
Yes. So I'm going to screen share this now. So let's have a look. I'm sorry. This is such a long route to do this, but I'm getting this. There it goes. So if you look around about, if I highlight it quickly, they couldn't decide which one they wanted themselves. It literally is just a remote Caribbean island. And it's just such a weird thing to do. To just go somewhere. Oh, it's in that geographic area. Just here.
I think that's Steve again. I think that was it. It's an example of there was parts of the script that were like fill this in before shooting. Just never got done.
They kind of just go with the. So I was like, Steve, where are we doing this? Caribbean. Up the market in Ladder Sun. You sit there and you go, around about that time, ninja films were still big. There was a lot of things filming done in the Caribbean. You just have to look at like the original Weekend from Bernie's. Even my mate Luke just popped up and just said, "Aren't they all remote? Remote from where?" That's my point, Luke. This is you missed earlier. I think you missed a joke earlier. That's where Steve comes in. Steve's their crowbar plot guy. They go to him when they need something nonchalant to put in the script. But they don't actually say what island they're on.
No, it's never mentioned.
They talk about the women getting completely starkers quite a lot.
Yeah. That's quite right from the first part of the film. I think there's a
yeah, they do that.
When they're getting shown around.
Yeah, I mean that was it. That's when Steve James has his only like kind of like disgustingly manly bit. It's like, I think I'm gonna like it here.
Like, and I think one of the other characters is supposed to be married and says something like, "Just because I'm on a diet doesn't mean I can't look at the menu." I mean, that's the line.
Yeah, wow. But that's it. I mean, it's yeah. That's when they're on the boat, and then the other guy goes, "Yeah, good point." Yeah, taps him on the shoulders like, "Yeah, she's a lucky lady." The fact she's kidnapped you don't really seem to care about it too much. You're letting your friends get kidnapped as well. You're just like that. Like, as long as you keep her alive, you can have everybody. I'm not going to come back and get her. I mean, realistically, Marines, if he just walked up to them and said, "Look, this bloke over here who's kidnapping the Marines has kidnapped my wife and held me to ransom over it," the Marines would have been on their arse in like that. Yeah, we wouldn't. But Steve wouldn't have that.
No, not at all.
I think I'm overusing that joke. I'm going to leave it for a minute.
You're gonna park the scriptwriter guy for a bit.
Yeah. I'm putting him out to pastures for at least the next half hour. He's on gardening leave. Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean, you look at. I go down that route with this a lot. Like when I look at B movies, I try to work out if it's racist, sexist, or misogynistic. Because a lot of B movies are one of the three.
Problematic.
Yes. Yes. I mean, like they have token ways of making you dislike characters. Some of them are not as nice as others. My favorite ones are always when they give like the villain like either a Saturday morning cartoon plan or Saturday morning cartoon laugh, just so you know.
Just to hammer the point home that he is bad.
Yeah. It would be something like that. I remember there was like a guy that had a laser to end the world, but it had to be aimed at clocks for some reason. So his downfall was the laser fired into his watch and he died. So it was a moral death.
Right. About timekeeping.
Yes, apparently so.
Yeah.
This one, the bad guy, had a Saturday morning plan.
He did. It was very Saturday morning. And a Saturday morning look.
Yeah. He looked like talking lion, aren't we? That's Leo, the lion.
Yeah, Leo the lion, and he was played by Gary Conway from Land of the Giants. I thought he looked familiar to me. Yeah,
that was really bugging me. You did the research on that. Do you know what? I watched this on the running machine. I literally had the iPad in front of me and I'm like, what the fuck is this guy? I know him. I loved Land of the Giants as a kid.
Yeah, I kept thinking he looked familiar, but that he looked like I thought. I'm sure I know him, but looking younger. And he was in Land of the Giants. So there you go.
Holy shitballs!
Yeah, and he had a very, very Saturday morning cartoon villain look about him in this.
Yeah, it was kind of like shaved white. It was like short blonde hair. He was in a white suit.
He sort of actually something that I kept thinking he kind of reminded me of like a bargain basement Max Zorin from View to a Kill, Christopher Walken. And
who's the guy in Spider-Man that's in the white suit, but his skin's blue?
Oh yeah.
He looks a hell of a lot like him, but obviously white with blonde hair. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah. His
names escape me.
Yeah, but he looks comic booky.
Yes, he does, and that's what the sort of villains are like. Because when obviously we were talking about, we did Delta Force 2 last week, and I'm not going to release it because it's it was hard to make an episode out of that. I mean, I think we struggled to do an hour talking about a film that's 2 hours.
The film itself, I think that film sent us to sleep. You can't. It was just nothing to talk about.
But I kept on saying to you, I absolutely hated the villain, and I think it was that. I didn't really know his motives.
Mm-hmm.
I knew he was a drug dealer,
Mm-hmm.
and that was about it. This guy, on the other hand, you knew his motives. You knew he was a drug. They kept calling him a drug dealer at first, but he wasn't. He was dealing in genetically modified Marines. That's the point.
Yeah.
How many times have we seen this in canon films? How many times have we seen this in canon films where you can see what the original plot line was, and then obviously the producers have turned around and gone, "That's not zany enough." Sorry, Steve, you're not coming back. You're on garden and leave, but that's not zany enough.
They had to up the ante on it.
Yeah, you need to do something weird. All right, cool. Here's some extra money. Make it sci-fi. It's weird. But yeah, so they call him drug dealer for like the beginning of the film, and then he turns out to be genetically modifying like Marines to be ninjas.
Yeah,
I still don't get why you need to genetically modify them to be ninjas. But I'm not going to question this damn film.
Yeah, I think they genetically modify them to have ninja knowledge. I think that's one of the lines I heard. So what it does is essentially
that line killed me.
I think it essentially means that it cuts out the years and years of, I assume, hard work it takes to become a ninja. Like all the there's no training. You just get like ninja knowledge injected into you.
Fuck me. Were they listening to Cole Pilkington? Have you ever seen the episode of the Ricky Gervais show when he said like every baby's born, he had the idea in the future that we should inject a chip in them that gives them like the skills for a job?
Yeah, I think I've not seen the episode, but I think I've seen it like that clip on YouTube or something like that.
It's so funny. It's when his most aspirational job he could think of was to make a kid a plumber.
Super Mario.
It was like Ricky Gervais's game. Mate, to be honest with you, like why would they pick a plumber? Why would they pick that? Wouldn't they pick the CEO of a business? But a plumber. Oh.
That's
what it sounded. That's what that reminded me about. That's what that reminded me of. It's just the idea of just getting guys in and injecting them.
That's kind of like, I mean, in the Matrix, they download knowledge of stuff in that, don't they? It's kind of, it's not quite that, but they have that thing of like, I want to learn this, give me that knowledge now. In the world of the Matrix.
Yeah, but it makes sense in that universe.
Yeah.
They are walking computers, the people in the Matrix.
Yeah, they live in a virtual world.
Not just that, and outside. And if you look at what is the real world, we're still not sure if that was. They've got like sockets in them. Yeah,
they plug into their necks, don't they?
Yeah, so they're walking computers. These are humans. These are actual humans with no metal stuff, no computers logged into them, nothing. No. But I'm still saying I'm not questioning this film's logic.
I liked it when you first learned about the people going missing. The what's his name? The general guy. I want to call him the one I called him Bargain Basement Val Kilmer.
Yeah. Wild Bill.
Yeah, he says like he immediately starts with there's certain left-wing elements that try and stir up trouble around here. And I thought, oh, well, we're right back in MAGA country with this guy.
I like this guy.
Yeah.
Sorry, by the way.
It's hippies. The hippies are like kidnapping people. That seems to be his immediate go-to.
I keep on doing this, but you don't see this. You don't normally hear this because I had this out of recordings normally. Every time he brings up Trump, I've always got a new news story for him.
Oh no! Did something happen?
Not bad. It made me laugh a little bit. So he's got his pardons today. He can pardon a few people just before he leaves.
Yes.
One of them might be Little Wayne.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I was like, in what world did they become friends?
Bizarre.
It's just weird.
Did Little Wayne? I know there is. I've seen like lists of unexpected Trump supporters. Did he support him or?
I don't know, but it seems to be people with the word "little" in front of him because he's got little pump as well.
I can imagine him pardoning John Wayne, been dead for many years. Oh dear.
Right, let's get out of that. Right, that's what normally happens on recordings that I normally edit out. By the way, people.
Okay. We steer away from that.
Let's steer away from that. And we all know what I call Trump. I call him it.
Yeah.
So, it is finally leaving us tomorrow. Yeah. I mean, you go down that route and you look at the. Sorry, I completely forgot where it was. I did remember where it was.
We were talking about.
The right wing background.
Yeah,
but yeah, no. But you go down that route and you look at 80s action films, and realistically, the 80s action films were quite right wing.
Oh yeah.
It's just because of the time and the nature.
Yeah, it was a time, and it was part of popular discourse. It was, it's just that was the 80s.
It's Cold War.
Mm.
It's the Cold War. I mean, you had Reagan in charge. You had the Cold War going on.
Mm-hmm.
The left kind of joined the right because they thought they were going to die any minute. So they released all these films that were telling you how amazing the American army were, and you're going to be safe.
Yeah.
Actually, Luke's just. I didn't see this. Sorry, Luke. Did James Bond disclose their islands? If it was Roger Moore, he might have in a very camp way. But yeah, there was that, and you get to a point where you think to yourself, you got to look at films and the political climate they came out at the time, and I think that's actually what I really love about like B movies, because they really don't go to predict the future. They do what they're doing now. And you can watch a B movie and you can kind of tell what was going on in culture at that point.
Yeah, they reflect the time
really badly. I mean, like sometimes I've watched like B movies from like the 90s and said, this is really 90s. It's
so 90s.
Yeah. Like, oh, fuck me. Look at that tracksuit. Look how bright that is. Like, tracksuits in the 90s used to look like the beginning scenes of Saved by the Bell. Like,
yeah, look at that bottle of Sunny D.
Oh god, I miss Sunny D. Bring it back. I know it was horrendous and it probably dyed my insides, but I looked pretty on an X-ray. Yeah, and the American Ninja hits that point, because I think the first one is 1985.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. It's
Yes.
same age. Yes, because I made the comment of yes, fuck me, this film's the same age as I am.
Yeah.
That makes sense now. Yeah, and if you look at that, I mean, the Cold War was there, but the Cold War was, but there was still, America was still kind of reeling off of Vietnam. I think the only kind of satirical take on the Cold War I can remember from like the 85 before that might have been Watchmen, but I can't think of the original year of the Watchmen movies.
What?
Watchmen graphic novel.
I think it came out in 1980. I think it came out in 1985.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so it's definitely 85 or 86.
But it's the only one I can think of that did that. I mean, to release well, you never know with Canon. I was going to say to release a film in 1985, you would need to make it in 1984. But then actually it's Canon. They could have made it in January and then just smacked it into the cinema in July.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that, and you can see that in the first film. It's America kind of getting over Vietnam. In this one, it's kind of like they're almost like say it is almost Cold Warish, and it has gone like kind of like the right wing's right, the right side of politics is right. Look at what these crazy motherfuckers are doing. They're building that, and it is like Fox News. Yeah, they're building mutant ninjas. God damn you, Antifa.
Yeah, actually, the whole kind of like turning, the whole kind of thing of like kidnapping military types to turn them into evil ninjas sounds like something QAnon would put out there.
It's something that Reagan would have said.
Yeah, exactly. It's a standard right wing talking point, i.e., utter garbage.
It's so funny. I was watching about the storming the other day, and it kind of stinks of the storming of Capitol Hill is when they go, "Oh, Antifa were in there somewhere." Really? Were they? Were they?
It was genetically modified ninjas in the Capitol.
They did genetically modified socialists. The stairs of Capitol Hill. God damn it, they're after me, man. God damn socialists. I keep explaining to people the difference between the communists and the socialists, and I'm like, yeah, I don't go and visit a committee. Like, fuck off. I don't want to do politics. But yeah, you can't help it when you do films from the 80s. Even when they're not satire.
It's totally in the DNA of them, and it's also what it marks. It's also kind of how you know you're watching something from 35 years ago.
Well, that's it. I mean, when I'm watching like an 80s film, I like to mark the history with the film. When I'm watching an old film, anyway, I like to mark the history of the film because then it helps me to understand why they say a lot of things they do, why some of the things are happening,
why they lean into a certain kind of tone and stuff.
Yeah, sometimes it's political difference, sometimes it's cultural differences. It could be anything. It could be numerous things. But as long as you have that knowledge of why it's so different, you find yourself not being offended.
Right.
And you can watch it and you can understand the time it comes from. And it's almost like a history lesson instead of just being a schlocky 80s film, which you can just switch off to, which, to be perfectly honest, I love a schlocky 80s film you can just switch off to. Like, you just finished work and you're like, I really cannot be fucked to watch a Christopher Nolan film. Where's that hard ticket to Hawaii got? Like...
along with a really strong beer.
And that's what these films are great for. And I think and I'm kind of treating this like this live like a debut podcast episode, because there are going to be some people that are watching us here today that haven't listened to the podcast, and I think that's where we've got to go down that line. I think you got to understand that's what these films are for. These films, my love of these films come from a very young age. My first love of these films are like Godzilla. Then when I turned like 18 and I started going out to 3 o'clock in the morning, it became rolling in at 3 o'clock in the morning with kebab in hand and turning the TV on, can't find a remote. So you just leave it on the channel you're watching and you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. It's trash, but it's great.
Yeah.
The more exploitation, the happier.
The stumbling home after the pub, like turning on, like it used to be Channel 4. They'd always have a B movie on at night. That's the best.
Yeah, if it was Channel 5, it was a boob movie. Like, so many boobs on Channel 5 at that time. Yeah, it was, and that's. Do you know what? For the first time, we're an hour and a quarter in, and it's the first time I said the word boobs.
Very good.
I'm growing up.
Yeah. We're maturing as adults.
Mum, I'm maturing. I'm going to call my mum. Tell her I am an adult. I'm not. Yeah. But yeah, and I think we should put that there, to be honest, like because I do get questioned why I watch these films, and I do have to explain they are. I only watch them in depth when we do this.
Yeah.
Most of the times, just put them on, and I just switch off and laugh at the shit.
Yeah, you don't over-examine them when you watch them in your civilian life.
Godzilla gets to one of my favorite points, one of my funniest things. Me and my friend, I worked in a craft beer bar in central London, and one of my friends who kind of enjoys these schlocky films as well. We were talking, we had this great conversation, it became a great joke, and it was films in reverse.
Oh, yeah.
I loved, and it all came up with the idea. Do you remember when you had the old VCRs that had the turny dial to reverse?
They're great fun.
And you could literally if you just turn it the tiniest bit back, you could watch a film at full speed in reverse. And we were talking about it was always fun. I always did it when somebody jumped off a building, and I just kind of reversed the footage and watched them go back up the building. But we were talking about actually, if you play the whole film in reverse, it really changes the storyline. And one of my favorite ones was Godzilla, where it says giant lizard rebuilds city after nuclear explosion. There was other ones. There was like there was Friday the 13th. Misunderstood man in hockey mask saves children from drowning.
Star Wars. Luke Skywalker builds the Death Star.
Yeah, it's basically, and it becomes really funny the more you do it. Yeah. Jaws was shark helps amputees. It was we rolled that for like an hour over beers. It was just, and the more drunk we got, the funnier it got. But yeah, no, and Luke's agreeing with us here. He's saying 80s films are time capsules, and they are. They're time capsules for either cultural differences, political beliefs, etc., etc. That's quite why I like doing them. This, as we quite rightly said, right at the end, when it turns sci-fi and it becomes modifying, it's just Cold War elements all the way through it. Everybody standing there is blatantly in the communist dictator's outfit up the top, apart from the main bad guy. He looks like he kind of like the guy that's I don't know where he's meant to be from. They don't say what country he's the leader of. He's a leader of a country, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he is. I think leader. Yeah, I think it might be a made-up country.
Might be a made-up country. There's another film with made-up country I'm trying to get my hands on. I can't remember the name of the country. I'll have to find out in a minute. It's really funny. But it's it was really, really strange because I mean, like, yeah, he's blatantly standing there in like a communist outfit, and it really hits that kind of he's Soviet without being Soviet.
Yeah, without them wanting to specify, that's clearly what he's supposed to be.
Yeah, basically, it's completely strange, completely deranged.
They're James Bond villains. That whole end bit feels very James Bondy, and I think it's quite telling that the guy that did the score to this went on to score Austin Powers, because that is, that's basically the same thing, isn't it? Really, so it's we want someone to do it. Yeah.
Oh God, never down to 10%.
There goes the neighborhood.
Well, I've been on a diet. I haven't really drunk since last week, so I'm just sitting there going. 10% was normally my given on every night, and lately
is it hitting the spot?
My eyes are awake. Let's just say that. That's why I'm swapping to a session. Yeah. Sorry.
Sorry.
We've already done the remote country joke, Luke. I'm bringing back Steve if you don't watch yourself. Yeah, it's it is a great film. I think we can say that from now.
Mm-hmm. I think this is the best of the Cannon movies that I've watched.
Yeah, and it really is. I mean, there was no. I mean, and it was typical Cannon because as soon as it hits its full tilt, it just keeps on going at that pace. There's no putting your foot on the brakes to have any moment of deep storyline. There will be a moment where it looks like it's going to do it. I'm not going to lie. There'll be moments where he's going to look like he's going to do it, and then ninjas appear.
Yeah, ninjas like fall out of the sky.
Yeah, it's just like I think this is going to be a serious moment. This is going to be a moment we're going to remember where he confesses his love to this young lady. Oh no! Wait a minute. No.
Nope. No luck.
No. No luck. Just ninjas. More ninjas.
Yeah.
Ninjas. Yeah. I don't know how to do that. It's so funny, right? It's so funny. It's one of my favorite things. I love Cannon for it. They kind of do these moments where it looks like you're gonna have like some deep, meaningful moment where the two characters confess their love for each other, and well, fuck, it's a ninja. And it's always ninjas with Cannon. It's always fucking ninjas. Yeah, and even if they're not ninjas, they look like ninjas.
They seem to have a real thing for them, and it's every time that it feels like they're gonna, the pace is slowing down, the action just comes crashing back in again.
Oh, I love it.
Do you know if they went more sci-fi with the following ones, or do you not know?
I haven't even looked into them. I'll be honest with you. As soon as somebody told me that not to, I was like, okay, right. Reason being, and they're like, it's just bad. Don't go beyond number 2. Please, just don't do it to yourself. Is basically the advice I got given.
Don't talk to yourself.
They basically just said to me, if you love the first 2, you're gonna hate the rest of them.
Right. Okay.
Whilst I'm talking to you, I found your favorite fight scene.
Okay.
And I've been trying to find it for ages.
Brilliant.
And it's the bar brawl.
Yeah, like the bar brawl. That bar looks fun.
It doesn't look fun. It looks like I don't want to fucking be in it, mate. I mean, seriously, who goes to this bar?
It's called the Blind Beggar, isn't it?
Yeah, here it is.
Yeah, here we go.
Right, so I'm full screening it. Bringing the sound back on. Oh, that acting's amazing, isn't it?
Brilliant.
And here is the action figure. And they're Dudikoff's climbing shit.
Come on. Come on, you midgets.
Let's watch as much of this as possible and commentate over it. Because I haven't got any other plans. I mean, look at this. I mean, I can't believe how much of an... Did I just find it? I need to rewind that. I never noticed that before. Oh, no, I didn't rewind that. So listen for this. Mm-hmm. So I just heard this, and I don't think I noticed it the first time we watched this, and I just heard pin drop, like bowling pins.
All right.
Now listen for it.
Okay.
When Steve James breaks out of the guys that are huddling over him, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I told you there's cartoon noises in this film.
You're right.
And the music doesn't fit the fight scene. Whoop, I just heard them again.
Yeah, I love it.
Yes. So this is great. I'm fucking loving this.
want to be a big man, you got to learn how to eat, baby. What?
Great one-liners. Punching, kicking. See, there's any reason to get Steve James to slightly get topless.
Yeah.
But I think what I actually like about this scene, I can see why you like it. I think they understood that nobody took the first one that seriously.
Yeah.
So they're just having fun.
Yeah.
Come on, baby. Come on. Come on.
I think I'm going to take this out, actually. I think that's enough. But yeah, they got to.
They go with the fun of it.
Yes, pretty much. And I really adore it for that. It does have a sense of schlocky fun with that fight scene, and there is. I mean, like, it's again schlock, absolute schlock. You've got to. Luke's just said, like Police Academy after number 3. It's completely true.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, that's it. I mean, I think that you're actually quite right. I mean, the other fight scene is my favorite just because of the campiness. But this kind of like encapsulates the first 2 acts of the film in one scene. It is the fact they've realized that nobody really took the first one that seriously.
Yeah.
So
it's like they turn up. It's really noticeable that there's a lot of it's quite a lot of dialogue from Jackson in that. So it's like they're going, yeah, let's just have fun with the fighting. Let's just have Jackson just making jokes. And and it works really well.
I'm absolutely down with that. Good man.
Yeah.
Oh, God rest his soul. Sorry, beer. Yeah, and I think that does encapsulate a lot of the film. That kind of sets you on what the tone is of the film anyway. Maybe that should have been an earlier fight scene, but I mean, I love the original ninja fight scene. That's the best fight scene. Just for the stick throw. Stick throw kills. I can't believe how much I laugh at that. So, yeah.
That's definitely. I like the bar brawl. That's definitely a high point for me.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like when you look at films like this, I mean, like this film, I should say, really, none of the fight scenes in that are bad. They're bad, but they're not. They're good bad. You know.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. It's on my brand, and I'm at the mark where I can bring Steve back. So we're going to bring Steve back a little bit later, I think. Did say 9:30. I did say 9:30. Steve's back.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did say that he'd save him then.
He was on gardening leave for half hour.
He's on a break.
I love Steve. I love Steve. Steve's in all my favourite B movies. Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, like, I think we should talk about the third act a bit more, because the third act's where everything goes bullshit crazy, man. That's the weird sci-fi thing. Yeah,
the third act is when it really leans it. I get a sense that the whole kind of genetically modified ninjas was it was almost like something they were like, we need to make this, the summary of this film sound more exciting. So it's like they go up against genetically modified what's-its or something like that. So my feeling.
Do you know what? I'm just looking at the camera now. I need to sort this bad boy out. The more I drink, the more my hair falls down. I've always noticed that. No, I blame the alcohol. I'll go Rick Mail. Like, yeah, but the third act is kind of where they kind of lean into the madness.
Yeah, they embrace it.
Yeah, and they kind of go, it's schlocky fun. Fuck it, lean into it. Roll with it. Actually, fucking turn it up. Just do it. Just turn up.
Yeah, turn everything up to 11. And I think we get a flashback to the first movie in that bit, don't we? It's where Dudikoff,
Yep.
he remembers his training. So you see a few scenes. Yeah.
Yeah, I was in my head. I was going, did we? Or was I just literally standing there going, "Oh my god, this is bullshit"? I did that a lot in this film. The first watch was like, "Oh my god, this is such bullshit." I fucking love it. It is like, for me, like I'm not really. I go back to this. It is like watching Avengers, watching Batman, like 60s Batman. I go, "Oh my god, this is sloppy, but this is campy, sloppy bullshit." Oh, more of it.
Really funny, overly choreographed fight scenes.
Oh, third act is full of them as well. There was one bit that really made me laugh, and I couldn't work out why the ninja did it. So when they're running down the stairs because the ninjas kidnapped the scientist, and they're doing the stairs at the 90s leisure centre.
Oh yeah, yeah, in the British Empire.
Yeah. He's like, and he goes down, and Dudikoff finally catches up with him and kind of kicks him down the stairs. Did you notice he jumps back up, runs over, punches the scientist for no reason, and goes back and has a fight with Dudikoff? I was like, why did you punch him? You're kidnapping him to do no. What? He's an old man. You could have killed him. and he creased me because it came out of nowhere, and it was the way he turned. He went, and then I'm back. And there was no point for it. He ran at the guy like a 5-year-old, punched him. You know, like when a 5-year-old comes and runs and kicks you in the shin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, they do it and just run off.
So I've just been asked a question by Luke here. American Ninja was a cinema release or straight to VHS? Trying to think of box office success. Well, to answer your question, Luke, actually, American Ninja was a success. Me and you were talking about this on the previous episode. I believe it was a 7 million budget, made back 12.
Mm-hmm.
Made 12. This one, actually, searched it up earlier, it looks like it's bigger budget. It was 350,000. I think. Oh, I might think of the wrong film. I'm going to double check myself quickly before I spew this out as fact. But I believe this one had a smaller budget, but doesn't look like it. It looks like it has a slightly bigger budget.
Yeah, maybe they just got.
I think lack of vehicles brought the budget down.
Yeah. Lack of ridiculous bazooka.
Yes, I love that bazooka. I'm just going down. I'm just going to go down and have a look because I didn't think to look at this earlier. I normally do, actually. Yeah, I was right. It was 350,000 budget.
Yeah, I think I did a bit of reading and said that it was on a lower budget.
And it made 4 million back. And to be fair, to make it on a smaller budget and make it look better, man.
Yeah, that's good.
Banger. I mean, the first one was 7 million, so that's a really small. That's really small compared to what they spent on the first one.
Yeah.
Considering the fact that they made this one because the first one almost doubled its own money. So, kudos.
Yeah. Well done to them.
Yeah. Strange film though. Strange film. Right, cool. I hope that helped you out there, Luke. But yeah, this third act kind of leans into its insaneness. It kind of leans into its own insanity and just flies with it. And for that moment where scientist gets punched for no fucking reason, Dudikoff beats up Ninja.
You've seen him in a laboratory.
Yeah, that you have the cavalry turn up and Steve James looking like an action figure again in a leather gilet, and a minigun in hand.
Steve James and the cavalry essentially turning up as they do in the first one. Seems to be sort of that's a bit of a running theme with these movies.
They blow up. They blow up watchtowers. They fire miniguns. And when he turns up, and there's actually no ninjas outside, like Wild Bill suddenly goes, "Oh, you weren't lying about these ninjas. Oh, where are they? Soldiers outside an army base. That doesn't confuse me." Steve, where the ninjas? They're inside. Drop the grease on the stomach.
How can I work fried chicken into this?
Lob a bone at somebody. Yeah, that's probably why he came up with the idea of the stick being thrown at somebody. He threw a chicken bone at someone. But yeah, it was like, so they're going in, and it's like they're shooting everybody. There's explosions, and then Steve James gets inside and has one of the most epic fight scenes. And he pulls these knives out. No, at the size of these knives.
Yeah, they're huge, aren't they? Again, if he was an action figure, these would be his accessories.
I want to say, I said this to you earlier. If anybody's listening to this and they make action figures, can you make me a Steve James action figure? One with the bazooka from the first American Ninja, and now can I get the knives from American Ninja 2?
Yeah, you want like I'm imagining the action figure in its box, and it would have like on it American, Jackson in American Ninja Get Up, and Jackson in American Ninja 2 Confrontation. The way you could get different Luke Skywalkers that way.
Well, yeah. I would like, with him, is like, I would like to be able to, when you have to buy the extra stuff as well. I want a Jeep Wrangler as an extra.
Accessories sold separately.
I'll buy the Jeep Wrangler. We'll randomly put him in Castle Grayskull.
Yeah, just for shits and giggles.
Yeah, done.
Yeah,
and then we can fully canon it. Seriously, my hair is going all kinds of flops because of this bit. I'm blaming the beer.
And an action figures. Now this is something that needs to happen.
I don't want to do the cough one because the only thing the Dudikoff one is going to do is stare into the back.
Yeah.
just stare off into the distance.
Yeah, staring off into the middle distance in his blue steel way.
Much like this. Did I get the pout? I can't see. I'm not looking.
That's it. That's the Dudikoff.
That one. I need to be standing on the roof when I do it, though, and looking off the helicopters flying. I think we have a viewer called Lars saying Banu. I'm guessing that's hello. So hello.
Oh, hello to you.
Hello, Lars. Yeah, it's crazy. It's a great film, though. Absolutely great film, and I highly suggest people watching it. We're getting to the last 20 minutes, so the last 20 minutes of the podcast. So I think we've got about a 5-minute chat, and then a conclusion, probably.
Yeah, then wrapping it up.
Yeah, well, the conclusion I think has already been said, but
yeah, we've covered we've covered every stage of the movie.
I love La. You've obviously joined a little bit late. He's just asked us what the discussion's been about. So the discussion has been about, my friend, a glorious film from the Canon Library called American Ninja 2: The Confrontation. I highly suggest searching it out. But there you go, son. We're just reviewing this. We're reviewing live. We have gone into other subjects, but once this is done, rewatch once we're done. It's great.
Yeah, go give it a watch on whatever platform you can find it on.
Well, yeah, watch the film. But I was talking about us, man.
Watch us always.
Watch us. Watch what we do. This is
no matter what we're talking about. Just do that.
I'm just gonna have a camera following me. It's fine. Everywhere I go. What am I having for dinner? Oh, fish. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, the final fight scene itself is completely insane as well. Because they start fighting like ninjas and like swords and everything, and he drops his ninja sword and he picks up a shotgun.
Yeah, there's. I mean, the end bit. It's the whole kind of overriding theme of this seems to be that guns are better than ninjas. Like guns get rid of ninjas. It seems it's again it becomes a bit maggery.
NRA.
Yeah.
Who's the famous actor? Oh, Charlton Heston. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, yeah, we all know the quote.
I'm taking notes, son. Steve, stop writing Charlton Heston into the script. So Lara is asking if there's any famous guys on the film haven't watched this one. Oh, I mean, they're famous to us. I'll be honest with you, Lara. That's because there's not really, is there? No, because
yeah, these people. I mean,
no.
I think that Gary Conway, who plays a villain, is probably the only face I recognised that wasn't from the previous movie.
Yeah. I mean, like Gary Conway, I wouldn't really class as famous either, because I mean, we know him. We know him from the Land of Giants, which is not.
Yeah, he's looking at his film. Wow, he was in American Ninja 3.
Boss.
Oh wow! So I went down a bit of a rabbit hole, and I was like, American Ninja 3 is the one that I remember. I remember the poster to it because I remember seeing that in my video shop.
I think my favorite rabbit hole we ever did was the Lee Thompson one.
Oh yeah.
Because as soon as you said Leo Thompson rabbit hole, I said,
yeah, I should have thought of that choice of words.
But no, in this film there really isn't. It's kind of B-movie, guys.
That guy. What's his name? The villain guy. He other than even Land of the Giants, he's in loads of B-movie stuff and going back decades. And Land of the Giants was produced by Irwin Allen, who again was another. Irwin Allen made big B-movie stuff, like B-movies with slightly bigger budgets than some of them. So,
well, that was the thing. That's what I mean. Like, me and you try to not do too many canon films, but we will do films. Then we go, oh fuck me, that was canon.
Yeah.
And I think this was one of them. We did the first one, and then we ended up doing the second one because we loved the first one so much that we wanted to see how the second kind of.
I have to say, I am intrigued by the third one just because Steve James is in it.
La just said it's got martial arts in this. No, I'll definitely give you a watch. La, it's not great martial arts, but it's you may laugh your tits off. Imagine Batman Adam West doing kung fu, and that's the film. And that's why I love this film. I mean, actually, realistically, they're not bad martial artists. It's just the choreography.
Yeah, it's just a bit. It's a bit kind of over the top.
It's tame.
Yeah, it's 60s Batman. It's Roger Moore, James Bond. It's like don't go to it if you're like a martial arts aficionado.
If you're like Jackie Chan, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Like early Jackie Chan when he was doing before he had health and safety, like that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'd get on board. Even the guy that did Ong Bak, what's his name? If you like the guy that did Ong Bak, anyway, don't.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to be like.
It's not on that level.
Well, yeah, the whole point of this podcast and these live streams is bad, good movies. So this is badly choreographed. Well, I wouldn't say badly choreographed, camply choreographed.
these are rough around the edges movies.
Yeah, it's camply choreographed. It's just fun.
Yeah.
But that, bringing back, that's why I love the last scene, because it does go into that macho kind of like, I'm going to blast shit out with a shotgun bullshit. And then you just see, like, they actually prove, in the end of that, they kind of prove that the ninja is better than the gun. Because that's when he's just, like, avoiding the shotgun. The guy keeps on shooting his own people. He's just constantly shooting. Ninjas just appear out of nowhere, and he's just literally, oh shit! Sorry, man. I'll get him this time. He's like a ninja Elmer Fudd. Just hits everything apart from the one thing he's aiming at. Oh, at least. Unlike when we did Weekend of Bernie's 2, we had a PlayStation full of Chief Wiggums. This one we've got Elmer Fudd.
Yeah, it's a world of FUD.
FUD, gotta love FUD. But yep, I mean that's that whole fight scene, and I mean like he shoots the sword in half with the shotgun. He goes, dude, the cuff goes running around. Oh. Such a great scene. Right, I think we're on the mark now, man. I think we've actually we're. Do you know what? It's really funny when we do these recorded. I really, really don't watch the clock. I think this is the first time I've kept an eye to make sure we are running on time. Yes, we've got through everything we need to get through. I am so unprofessional. And this is the first time I've been sitting there going, oh, right, we need to hit. So we've got 15 minutes for final thoughts. That's because that's normally how long it takes us, which is why I picked 15 minutes, because we can't stop talking about pop culture. I went first last time. So actually, I went first the last 2 episodes, actually. So I kind of left Jimmy out of that. Fuck. Jimmy, go first.
This is I have to say, I think this is the best canon film I've seen. Since we've been sort of talking about this kind of thing. I think I follow like a canon appreciation thing on Facebook, and they do hold this one in very high regard. And I can see where they're coming from, because it seems more polished than the first one. Jackson is on fire in it. Steve James is really good. And I have to say that despite what I've been told and the zero Dudikoff factor, I'm quite curious now about American Ninja 3, because I see that Jackson's in it. And I feel, so Steve James is in the third one. And also, looking at the synopsis, it looks like it carries on. It's very science fiction-y. So it carries on the sort of move into that area. Because I think it's about a killer virus. And the villain is a terrorist known as the Cobra. So it's very G.I. Joe. This has been a fun movie. I've had fun talking about it, and I will probably, podcast or not, I will go and seek more.
Yeah, I feel you on that, actually. It was one of those ones that me and you, when we did the first one, me and you were talking about doing. I think because we had a previous version of the podcast, and we just got to a point where we would both say, right, one thing that keeps on popping up in these films is boobs. Another thing that keeps popping up is it's slocky deaths, and we just had. I think we'd had like 4 on the bounce.
Yeah,
that were just like boob infested, and we felt like, obviously, the nature of this, we do want an audience, and I didn't want to alienate anybody. So I wanted to find something that was fun. I wanted genuinely just like fun, schlocky bullshit. But
keeping
what we
it light.
actually, so when we did the reboot of this podcast, I was like, right, cool. So I think I listed off 4 films, and I think we got into the second episode, and I was like, we've done it. Should say the episodes are not in order. When I released them on Spotify, anyway. But I think we'd done 2 films that we didn't particularly like, and I screamed at you, "I need a palate cleanser," and then we did. And then we did.
Something to cheer us up.
Yeah. Because we were both like, "Oh fuck it, we don't do it." I love doing this podcast and I love watching these films, so I didn't like watching those 2. So I think we did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Mm-hmm.
No, we did Teenage Mutant Turtles. That was one of the ones we didn't like. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. Then we went, fuck it, Hard Ticket to Hawaii. Not going to go into that because that's the next episode, by the way. Before this drops. And then we did American Ninja. Yes, that's the order we did it in. We did American Ninja, and we both came back to each other and went, "Oh my god, I'd never even thought about watching this film in the whole of my life, and now I've sat down and watched it. I'm invested." And that's where I think I can go with this film. Like, it's one of those films that you really don't think you're going to like, but then when you do watch it, you automatically fall in love with it. It's just got such a lovable quality about it that you can't take yourself away from it.
Yeah.
You can't say that you hated it at all. But when you tell people you love it, people look at you and go, "You absolutely serious? You love this really bad film?" I was like, "It's not bad." But it is. It's what we call as movie lovers good bad films. It's
not high art, but it's entertaining.
Yes, it's basically the point. It's what we said earlier. Rolling in at 3:00 in the morning, kebab in hand. You may fall asleep facing kebab. But you've had a great movie. The thing about these movies as well, when you discover them like that, is you never remember what they are until you walk past somebody's got it on, or it turns up in a movie store, and you kind of like, "Oh my!" It was always when we were younger because we didn't have fucking streaming, millennials. But you'd walk through a Blockbuster and you go, "I watched that film at 4:00 in the morning. I do that in my life now."
It always felt like if you like read or saw the video in a shop of a film that you'd caught at 2 or something that you didn't know the name or anything, it was like that felt like a real find, like a discovery. Like, oh wow, there's other people that know about this thing.
Yeah, you're like, I thought it
was just me.
I thought it was The Insider.
Yeah.
That's what Steve told me about this film.
It was almost like there was a separate dimension reserved for films that are on that late at night.
Yeah. I'm thinking about, actually, I just mentioned Steve's name again. I'm thinking about making a character for him and putting him in the bottom corner around here somewhere.
Steve's the script doctor.
And every now and when I mention him, I'll just pull him up. I can't help it. I can't help but mention him. He is my go-to joke. Yeah, these discoveries at 4:00 in the morning when I've been absolutely trashed have been highlights for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
They are films that I wouldn't have chose to watch, but the fact that I was so drunk that I can't function and use my TV remote.
So you just leave it on that channel, to just leave it running.
Just leave it on that channel, and inadvertently I just discover gold at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. This really looks to me like one of those films. And as my mate Luke just said, and I'm going to completely agree with him, it's a comforting film like watching The A-Team.
Yeah, it's very A-Team. It's like, a motion picture A-Team type thing.
I think I'll describe to you Steve James as a slimmer, better looking Mr. T.
Yeah, he's basically the powerhouse.
Oh, he's
Like,
a fucking boss.
Yeah, it's like if you want to send in someone to, like he's like their panic button. We send in Jackson.
And as I said to you on the last podcast, I'm really upset that he died the year after making Weekend at Bernie's 2.
Yeah, that's really
like
sad.
one of the last films that's on his CV. I'm like, you don't want that, man.
He was so clearly capable of better stuff, and had he lived longer, I think we would have been talking about him in. He would have been, he would have had he would have carried on doing action movies, and we'd all happier for him.
He's a cross between Mr. T and Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
He's a Mr. T that drops the MF. He really is. And he had charisma. Oh, it's so sad. I don't want to end it on that. I want to find something positive. Let's find something positive. I don't want to talk about death before we finish.
Well, this is. I mean, he gets some great lines in this movie. So let's just say that this is a good testament to the great Steve James.
I mean, we actually delved into him, and he was a stuntman before he was an actor. So to have that comedy chops and be a stuntman and be not an action figure that I would buy, man, that you could grate cheese on that 6-pack. So, and they grated a lot of cheese into this film.
Yeah, this film.
See what I did?
Like we did there.
Yeah,
that's
what we call a segue. Right, do you know what? I would love to go on to the planned time, which is 10 o'clock, but I think we've actually.
Yeah, we think we've done it.
Yeah, I think we've done it, and I don't want to. I don't want to flesh it out just to make make this 2 hours. So, it's anybody who's been watching. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for turning up to our first ever live feed. I haven't seen the numbers, so I'm not going to pretend I have. So,
thanks for watching.
Thank you. Thank you to the guys commenting, and honestly, to God, I really appreciate it, and I really try to answer you when I see you, but there is a 10-second lag on this, so you may comment and I won't see it for a bit. So don't think I'm ignoring you. Anyway, it's been perfect for me. So my name's Dan. As you can see in the we're having this conversation before we went online.
Yeah, I did it.
Fuck you, you got it. This is my name. So my name's Dan, and this is Jimmy. Do you know what? I've got it on the screen up here. So I've been trying to make sure the feed's running right. So I might as well just look up there when I do it. But then it's really weird because I'm not looking at the camera. So yeah, thank you for joining us, and
thank you.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
And we'll be back.
Fucking on. And thank you, Luke. Really enjoyed it too, man. We'll be back with a live episode next month. I believe we agreed on doing Star Crash.
Yes, excited.
The episode before that, because I do try and theme the live episodes with another episode. We're going to be doing Black Hole, which is a Disney rip-off of Star Wars, so which is why we're doing Star Crash afterwards, which is another rip-off of Star Wars. Guys, please subscribe. It's around there. So I think it's around this side. I can't tell. I can't see. But you'll find it. It's that little bell button somewhere that says subscribe. So if you can subscribe to us, it'll go a long way to helping this lifting off, and we can do more.
Yeah, we want to do more. So see you again.
See you soon. Thank you very much, guys.
Bye.